Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nic unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
Rock and roll, we're here.
Woohoo!
Does anyone listen to rock and roll anymore?
Yeah, there's a whole culture out there.
Oh, is it the same rock and roll culture that it was though, Coxie?
I really don't know. How's it morphed? To what?
Well, it's like what's that thing? R&B, right?
Mm-hmm.
R&B is a little different now to what I recall R&B being in the 90s.
Because music evolves and changes, and it's meant to test us the oldies as the new ones start to listen to it. But I think the rock and roll culture is, well, I'm probably picturing something completely different to you. When you say rock and roll to me, I'm thinking about what were those shoes called? And old American muscle cars
60s
and
rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking Cold Chisel and a smoky pub in the western suburbs of Sydney, rock and roll.
Well, I think that has changed. Even the rock and roll, I hope that tree didn't just fall on my neighbour's house as it sounded like it did. Nobody's yelling though. I think that the cult, like, I'm tempted to say there's not as much of the drinking and the drugs and the carry on in rock and roll, in the new version of rock and roll. And I don't actually know that that's true. It's just maybe I'm not involved, and so I don't hear about it like I did when I was a whippersnapper.
Because you were drinking and taking drugs?
No.
G'day, listeners. It's Friday here at the Tradies in Business studio, which means Coxie and I talk even more shit than we normally do.
And we'll jump from one arm to the other and then all the way back again and do all sorts of weird stuff. But yes.
Friday episodes are usually an opportunity for us to hit record and just dribble whatever into the microphone without trying to hit a teaching point, without trying to deliver you any value other than perhaps some ridiculous entertainment and maybe bring a smile to your dial. I could have been a radio jock, Coxie.
I'm not real sure you could have.
Why? Because I'm not a big enough personality.
I'm not sure. Maybe you could have. I don't know. You could probably do the shock jock thing. I reckon you could give that a whirl.
The shock jock. I don't want to be a shock jock though.
Why not?
We ragged on shock jocks recently. Just making up bullshit stories. Oh, by the way, listeners, this is a episode on a Friday that has some naughty words. So if small ears are around, I know I've dropped a poo bomb, but if you are listening in the company of small ears and you would like them not to hear us get a bit potty-mouthed on a Friday episode, then now is the opportunity to pause this episode. And your opportunity's passed. So, just making up bullshit stories for ratings. Like, it's just, I think it's really shows a low level of intellect, to be honest. And it's a bit selfish.
When I was thinking about shock jocks, I probably wasn't thinking so much of those people we were talking about last week. I was probably thinking more of the Ray Hadleys or the...
Oh, like the expose things. Not that there's anything to expose in society at the moment.
No.
Everything's normal. Nothing to see here, people. Move along. Everything's fine.
I did bring some new jokes to the table though.
I
got a lot of feedback from our last Friday episode.
I think they just felt sorry for you, Nicole.
They didn't. I had a wonderful listener send me through some messages about how they should have gone to the bathroom before they listened because they ended up with
How many people actually gave you positive feedback?
Do you want me to tell you? It all came through Instagram, which is really funny. I'll tell you factually.
Have you got a spreadsheet of all of the positive feedback you got?
No.
I could turn that into a teaching point for our listeners on a fucking Friday.
No, you're not going to.
Fuck it.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there was a message was a post in the Facebook group, so I'm going to take that as 5, and then a couple of people then tacked on to the end of that, so I'll take that as 6 or 7. Thank you. So there was quite a few.
Didn't quite get to double digits, though.
That made me feel good that my jokes are okay.
Given we've had like nearly 220,000 listens to our podcast,
it's a lot of
probably
listening.
Not boding well for the feedback on your mum jokes.
Well, yeah, okay. All right. Thanks for making me feel great on a Friday, Warwick. It's great to see you too.
And I reckon I'm going to get some hate messages from your fan club now. It's like,
I hope so.
Well, stop picking on Coxie. Her jokes were awesome. Ladies. Yours are shit.
Come on, ladies. Stand up and unite and make it easier for me. Hey, did you hear about the chocolate record player?
No, I didn't actually.
It's pretty sweet.
Oh, how many of these are you going to make me sit through?
Probably a few, but I'm only warming up ready for our session this afternoon. We've got a tradiepreneur session with an awesome member who always brings the best. There's a new name for them now. I forget the name.
Yeah, because his name's Matt. He's calling them metaphors.
Metaphors.
Instead of metaphors.
So I'm looking forward to Matt's session, and I'm just warming up so that I can give all of these to Matt this afternoon. I can make him laugh for a change, because I don't think it's fair that he's always doing the making us laugh thing.
And I wanted to counter the metaphor with something using was, but all I could come up with was like, words of wasdom, but wasdom sounds too much like condom in my head. So
no, words of wasdom's excellent. Can you think of one for me now?
Well, are we going to use Nick or Coxie?
Well, my nephews call me Auntie Knickers.
Knickers.
That's my dad's nickname. I even have a jersey to prove it. Knickers. Did you
hear that, listeners? That was me not having any ideas.
How about Knickers nonsense?
Maybe our listeners, not that any of you actually send us many messages. No one's done the aubergine courgette thing.
No, I feel so sad about that.
Come on, gang. We've got some merchandise on the table here. If you're listening to this and you want some free shit from us here at Tradies in Business, fuck it. It's Friday. What do they have to do? Screenshot this episode will do. I don't care.
And tell us what an aubergine, a courgette, and there was one other
cantaloupe.
One. Cantaloupe is.
Or a cantaloupe, whatever you like.
It's cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe. But it's spelt different to antelope.
Okay. And the English language, even this week, there's a festival here in Ipswich called Galvanised, and they've spelt it the American way. And nobody's blinking an eye. It's irritating the crap out of me every time I drive past it. But nobody else is blinking an eye about it. So our language is a little different.
Yeah, I get really frustrated because we use the good old Google suite of products. The spreadsheets default to the American date system, which nobody else in the world uses. And what is it with you Yanks? Think you run the world. Oh,
do we really want him to get
actually do? And that really bugs me because I change the setting and it changes back again.
Yes.
Some little robot is in there.
You got to fight with it
and changing it back again.
And it always wins.
I know. And in the end, I just give up.
Yes.
And I think that's how they get us. It's like, they just get us by, well, if we just make it hard enough to change it, you'll just conform to the American system.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, really. Hey.
What?
What do you reckon a sprinter eats before they race?
Chilies?
Nothing. They fast.
Oh, they fast, man.
I don't trust stairs. They're always up to something. I think I might have used that one. Oh, my gosh,
Coxie. You're killing me.
No. Did you hear the rumor about the butter? I know you love butter. Did you hear the rumor about butter?
No, Coxie, I did not.
Well, I'm not going to spread it.
What happens when you run out of internet jokes?
The internet is ever giving and we'll find more to throw up in
the great warm glow of the internet, the inter-oracle.
The internet takes care of me for everything.
I will have to think of a name for your wonderful, humorous sharings, Coxie.
I would appreciate if you came up with a nice name.
Something almost as good as words of wisdom or metaphors.
Metaphors is pretty freaking amazing, is it not?
I'm going to have to ask him how long it took him to come up with that, or if it just like popped out after some psychedelic drugs and some alcohol.
Does not take me to be a drinker or a drug taker at all.
No. In fact, I get dumber when I have those things. Not that I have drugs.
I think I'm very intelligent when I have a few drinks.
You think you are?
Precisely.
So what are you up to, listeners? We don't know. You need to tell us. We don't need to, actually. You don't need to do shit. You don't even need to work today, but you choose to.
Yeah.
And we choose to talk crap on a Fuck It Friday episode.
What did the baby panda give to his mummy?
No.
A bear hug.
Just no, Nicole. All kinds of no. All varieties and colours of no.
Knock, knock.
No. Nobody's there, Coxie. Nobody's listening.
It's Howard.
I already know the answer to this one. Howard who?
How would you like your breakfast in bed, mummy? These are mummy jokes. Now, they're not as good, I'm going to be honest. Someone's going to have to help me.
Knock,
what
knock.
sweets do astronaut mums like?
No.
Mars bars, of course.
Oh, my gosh.
Who's there?
I really worry for the people that come up with these jokes. This is a sign of society's degradation, intellectual degradation. Who's there? Lettuce.
Oh, I hate this one. Lettuce who?
Let us in and you'll find out.
Oh, God. I used to say that when I was 6.
Hey, Coxie.
Yes, Warwick.
What's been happening this week at Tradies in Business? We should share with our listeners a little bit of our week.
We've had a challenging week, actually.
We've had a week.
We are looking to recruit. We have had the most amazing applicants I think we've ever had in one recruitment cycle, and we had to choose between them. It was very challenging.
It really sucked. And you know what? I'm going to get all words of wisdom on you here, listeners.
No, it's Friday.
Yeah, but fuck it, I can, because it's a fuck it Friday, Coxie. I can do what I like. Actually, I can do what I like anyway, because it's our show.
Yes.
Maybe this is why we don't get more listeners.
Probably.
No, I wanted to. It just got me thinking about finishing my sentences for once. Is when we had so many great applicants, it made the process really difficult. So that was one aspect of it, and it also feels like because there were some good quality applicants at the end on the shortlist, I found myself probably being more choosy, more critical.
Yeah.
And then starting to get a bit negative about things where maybe if we hadn't had quite as many applicants or maybe less quality, I may not have been as scrutinizing of those things. And so I found myself probably being a little more like, oh, not sure about that. Or not really happy with this. Whereas in years gone by, it might have been, oh my gosh, thank goodness there's someone with a heartbeat. Or, a personality, or at least part of one.
I also think it helps that we've had some not so favourable situations. So we've learned a lot as well about what it is exactly that we need. We've been really blessed this time to find many applicants with the right skills, and we were blessed with finding several with the right personality, which for us is probably the most important bit, I think. Having the right personality to go with Warwick and I is not easy. And so trying to find the right person to fit can be really challenging for us. But we've learned through this process a couple of times now that more than anything, that's the bit that we require. There's some specific personality traits that we're looking for that work best for us, which means that we can continue to deliver shit every Friday in a fucking
quality content. Yeah, because we really need to focus on producing more quality content like today's episode.
We need to focus on creating some quality content would be a good start. No, I think we do great. I love our podcast.
Yeah, and we appreciate the feedback from all of you listeners.
We do.
we have asked for reviews in the past, and most of you just ignore it because it's too hard. So...
Hey, I know what we could do. You know, recently we really ragged out those people that listen to the podcast for a long period of time, and they use all of our free advice and they set up great businesses. And we had a flush of people come through and say, all right, you're right. It's time that I fess up and I join your program and I start to get more from you guys. Well, those people that are listening right now that have been listening for a long time and they haven't yet pulled out their wallet and decided they want to be part of what we do, how about you just drop us a review? That would be awesome. And if you signed into iTunes, or come over to Facebook and drop a review, or you can go to Google and drop a review, give us a review about the podcast. That would be really helpful for us. It means that more people get to hear us because we get pushed up in the feed.
And more people like you will find the show. And no doubt it's been helpful for you, even if it is to listen to us drivel shit on a Friday. But yeah, give us a review or I'll get really sad.
Well, we need more Google reviews because ours all disappeared. Thanks, Google.
Gosh. I'm still arguing with Google about that, by the way. That's what's been happening this week. I'm arguing with Google.
That'll be like a boomerang conversation. It's not
because
going
they deleted half of our reviews and screwed it up, and now I have to actually provide them with proof of what reviews got deleted so that they'll reinstate them. How cool is that?
We could do on a Friday. We could rag out all the businesses that we've struggled with over the week. And I must say, actually, I've had a pretty good week. Nobody's really annoyed me this week, but some weeks business does very poorly. And it's a great way for our listeners to learn through us sharing some of our frustrations.
Us having a whinge.
Yeah, we do all right on the whinge.
We should do a Wednesday episode called Whinging Wednesday or something. My nickname as a young lad, actually, it was only one of my uncles, and I don't like him anyway. But he used to call me Whinging Warwick when I was a very small boy.
Were you a bit of a...
Because apparently I was a bit whiny. Nicole?
My family used to call me Nick. I'm not even going to comment on that. I will not be that mean to you this Friday. My family used to, well, my parents called me Nikki, which I fucking hate with a passion.
Nikki?
I hate being called Nikki.
Ooh, I'm going to store that one away for when I need to piss you off.
That's okay. Well, so you do that. No problem.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But my uncle, my dad's brother, used to call me Nick, and I loved it. It evolved to be my nickname for everybody, but my family who now
your nickname. Get it? Your nickname?
Yes, hilarious.
Oh, okay.
My family called me Knickers, and you and our tribe, wanky word and true, are the only people that call me Coxie because I have a house full of men, and they're all coxers, so they're all Coxie. So when they hear podcast calling me Coxie, or they walk past the room and you call me Coxie, they naturally stop and yeah.
What? Oh,
what are you
not talking to me.
Exactly.
That'll get really confusing for you guys one day when we're allowed out in public as famous people, and people are shouting out, "Hey, it's Coxie!" and you and all of your men turn around.
Hi.
Like, who are those weird blokes waving at us? We're calling out to Coxie.
They're pretty weird too. A couple of them particularly.
Your men or the people that stalk you?
And my son doesn't have the same surname. He's not a Cox. He's something different. I won't share that in favor of him being a little anonymous. But at high school, he didn't like his surname. So he there's a stupid movie called Superbad. I've never watched it. He says I'm not allowed to watch it.
Such a good movie.
Is it? Have you seen it?
Yes.
Blake says I'm not allowed to watch it. So his nickname in high school was McLovin. So his high school jersey has McLovin on it, and now he doesn't wear it because he's a little older, and he thinks that was really dumb, Mum. Why did you let me do that? Mate, I didn't let you. I lectured you for ages about how you shouldn't do that because you'll never wear it.
It's a bit embarrassing.
Is it? Even his mates still ring up. They'll walk in the front door. Oh, there's a funny story. We'll walk in the front door. Hey, McLovin, how you going? It's pretty funny because I don't know the context, and my brain can pretty well figure it out.
You probably need to watch the movie, Nicole.
I don't want to. There are some things.
I'm going to send you a clip from the movie, and I know you won't be able to help yourself. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that when people send little video clips around, you look at it and you think, I don't want to watch this, and then it sits there. and it just like pulls at
It's away.
at your coat and just picks at you. It's like, watch me, come on, you want to watch me, and we end up watching this thing. It's like, damn it, I knew I didn't want to watch that, and now I've watched it, and now I can't get it out of my head.
Speaking of which, I haven't watched the little clip you sent me from last night yet.
Ooh, that was a really that was definitely not for a Friday episode. It was very intellectual and all about human behavior and psychology. So
I might leave that one till I have a glass of wine and really see.
Well, I think I actually said to you, watch this when you're in a really good mood.
Yes, you did.
It could be a bit heavy. And humans can be a bit heavy sometimes. Anyway, I was going to share something else now. I can't remember what it was. It was back to that whole, when we've got lots of good options, we probably get more critical. And I wonder if there's some awareness that I could get around that if I take ownership of that particular concept. Of just being aware of how we shift our own goalposts for what's acceptable.
I thought this was a Friday episode.
Yeah, it is. Based on the options available to us. I was just going to go somewhere mildly inappropriate then, and I'm actually not going to go there because even for a Fuck It Friday, it's probably just a bit too out there.
So we'll do it off air then.
Well, it's a bit personal actually, and I don't really want to drop. I don't want to drop a couple of people into the conversation.
I understand what's going on now.
I don't think it would be fair.
I bought my husband some flowers today. I didn't tell you, but I want to share this tip for tradie wives. My husband, like most husbands and many wives too, don't get me wrong, appreciates a nice bunch of flowers. However, he doesn't really like to be gifted a bunch of flowers. So instead I buy him, we have, in Queensland, we have something called the Scenic Rim Farm Box. It's your opportunity to buy produce and meat and even milk and cream and all sorts of cool stuff direct from the farmer. So every fortnight I buy him a bunch of flowers, and his bunch of flowers is a couple of packets of beer stick and some salami. And it came early this morning. He's so excited for this afternoon knockoff time so he can have some of his beer sticks.
Nice.
We used to have a great butcher when we were living in Brisbane as well. And because we obviously we don't like preservatives and stuff. So we're a little, and fillers. So we're a bit picky, but we found someone that did them really, really well. I wrapped it up with cellophane and a bow, the whole lot. So it looked like flowers. It was pretty funny. I think I sent you a photo even, didn't I?
You did. I was just recalling that. I love a bit of small goods.
Nice way to spend a Friday afternoon. Yes. And Matt, if you're listening, I'm looking forward to seeing what you're smoking this weekend.
Anyway, so keep it above the gutter was.
Yes, Warwick.
I actually really like the Asiatic lilies that have that incredibly strong perfume.
Do you really?
Like real flowers. I like real flowers.
That surprises me.
It's my sensitive side, Nicole.
I think a lot of men love flowers. We have a bunch of flowers delivered every fortnight, again, direct from a farm. And they bring my husband as much joy as they bring me. And even the boys don't mind it. They'll often walk past and sniff it and talk about which flower smells nice.
I remember I travelled to the US back in 2007. I went over there for a conference in Vegas, of all places. But there's a hotel in Vegas. Well, there was. I don't know if it's still there anymore. Who knows these days? But it's the Venetian Hotel in Vegas, and like crazy over the top opulence and all that sort of stuff. And spent a ridiculous amount of money staying at this fancy hotel. But they have the flowers, but I swear they must be pumping the fragrance around the foyer of the Venetian, and of course it's all built in the style of a Venetian, an old Venetian building from Italy, and which would be Venice. Anyway, Venezia. So, but the fragrance was just so beautiful. It's just that slightly sweet, heady sort of aroma, and I smell those flowers now, and I'm always taken back to that time in my life and the hotel, and not that I was overly excited about the hotel or Vegas, to be honest, but it's just, it's just instantly transports me back, that smell. So I love smells and songs and sounds that really trigger those memories. I think that's a really cool aspect. And I believe, also my wonderful wife tells me, jasmine.
Yeah, half dead jasmine, but it still smells good.
It's fucking pretty sad, Coxie.
It reminds me, my grandmother used to have a jasmine vine, and this is potato jasmine, not the readily available star jasmine. So she used to have a potato jasmine vine growing up lattice at her front steps. So every house I move to, I grow jasmine so that I can get a big cuddle from Nanny every year, because she's been gone for 25 odd years now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's cool. Now, I'm told by someone who purports to know that not everybody has that. Not everybody has the smell, song, emotional
Is that right?
Memory association thing, yeah.
I feel sad.
Yeah, there's a percentage of the population that don't actually get that. So they can smell a smell and go, yeah, it's jasmine. You're like, yeah, but doesn't that take you back to your grandmother's? Like, no.
That's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. How sad's that?
It is for them, not for me, because jasmine makes me feel like I'm getting a hug.
It reminds me of the bastard vine that used to grow over the barbecue shelter at the back of my house in Toowoomba that I was forever cutting back, and the sap is awful. It burns your skin, stings your eyes, and hateful bloody bush. Anyway, listeners, you have a job to do.
Yeah, and
if you've forgotten by now, because I've got my waffle was on today, that's what else happened this week, listeners. I committed to less waffle for the rest of 2021. Except for Friday episodes. Yeah,
that's different. It's compulsory to waffle.
Listeners, you have a job to do. It's a very important job. You have a job to help Australian and Kiwi tradies find the awesomeness that is the Tradies in Business podcast by leaving us a review.
Please.
You can do that on iTunes, except you'll have to be on your computer, which was why it sucks. But I'll give you extra merch. Coxie and I'll send you double merch if you leave us an iTunes review. You can do it on Spotify, I think.
No
reviews on Spotify.
No, not that I know how to. Anyway, I've never figured that bit out. Sorry.
Or what we do love is Google reviews, and they're pretty easy to do. Just go and Google us on Google. That would probably make sense. And leave us a review on Google. Just give us 5 stars if you want to, and if you don't, then don't do anything. Remember what your mother said. If you've got nothing nice to say, say nothing. If you don't have a 5-star review, don't leave a review at all. But please do. I know I'm talking shit, but please do leave us a review. It does help people find the show, and it has helped hundreds of thousands of people actually improve their business. That might be an overstatement, Coxie, but I'm going with it because fuck it, it's Friday.
Let's do it. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.